We're talking Jaspers baseball. Hi, everybody. I'm Mark Renee, thrilled to be the new voice of Manhattan College baseball and joined by the new head coach of the Jaspers, Dave Miller. Coach, 2 days away from the season opener at Stetson down in Florida. How excited are you?
The guys are ready. Finally getting back into Division I as a coach. The guys have come out with a work ethic like I've never seen. They're hungry to win. They put in an amazing fall in the classroom and on the baseball field, and you can tell with 2 days before we fly down to Florida, they're itching to get after it.
All right, before we get into how you wound up here inside Dratty Gymnasium and as the coach of the Jaspers, let's talk about your team. You have a bunch of guys coming back from last year's 24 and 26 squad that finished 7th in the MAC. This year, the preseason poll has you at number 6. First of all, how do you feel about that?
Well, I've always been a coach that likes to play in the shadows. I want to, you always want to be the hunted, but there's nothing wrong with being the hunter. So, I've put in a few different strategies and offensive mixes and a few things differently with our pitching staff and our defense. So, I don't think we're going to be the same team that came out last year. But, these guys have a lot to prove. They're hungry. They felt like they let it slip through their fingers last year in a tough loss in the last weekend of the season to not make the postseason. So you can tell that from a weight room standpoint, a baseball standpoint, and everything else standpoint, these kids have something to prove.
Yeah, finished one game out of the MAC tournament last year. Among the returners, you've got Pete DeRocher, who was an All-MAC first-teamer. He's on the All-MAC preseason team this year. You've got Jack Lynch, who was a second-team All-MAC a year ago. Pete in the outfield, Jack at third base. How do they look getting set for 2023?
It's funny. Jack is, pushing 6'6". We've moved him over to shortstop this year, with David Bermudez transferring out to Stetson nonetheless. We moved Jack over to short. Pete's going to man our outfield. Both were unanimously named captains of the baseball team. They're hungry to go out and win, and they're hungry to go out and lead. So it's going to be fun to watch these two guys go out and play.
Well, you mentioned Bermudez, arguably the star of the team last year, and I know you have no direct connection to him, but how strange for your guys, the first series of the season, they're going to run into their old teammate.
Well, I think that, I always tell them, take them to dinner after the game. But when we cross those white lines, it's war. It's game time. We're not friends during the game. My job is to go out and beat him, beat Stetson, and let them know, maybe have him have second thoughts on me. I made a bad move. But again, I don't worry about it. I have the hand that I'm dealt right now. I think this team is hungry. They're ready. They want to win. So, like you said, I didn't coach him last year, so I didn't coach him this fall, so we've moved on without him.
Now, interestingly, there are a couple of legacy Jaspers on this year's squad. Christian Bermudez, Dave's brother, among them. And, of course, Matt Padre was the #1 catcher on the team. He's gone, but his brother Brandon is here.
Yeah. Both young kids ready to learn. They're going to be good players down the road. Excuse me. Right now, it's their job to learn, and from our leaders, our veterans, and their future's bright. But right now, it's going to be a great chance for them to watch these guys, our older guys, play. And, when their time comes, they'll be ready.
Before we get into the pitching staff, let's talk a little bit more about the position players and the team you inherited before we get into the new guys. What stood out to you among the positives from last year's team among the guys coming back?
Well, these guys were ready to learn. I consider myself a big offensive mind. I'm not afraid to say that, I like to teach offense. I like to teach hitting. So these guys wanted to learn from me, and we implemented some new things. That I'm a hitting teacher, so I taught some of these guys some new things. So I think what they might have been last year it's going to be surprisingly different this year with the team. I mean, Frank Miranelli, I think has a chance to be an all-conference player. I mean, Jacob Reds, it's hard to say his name, we call him Raz, but he's been behind, Padre for the last 4 years. It's now his time to shine. He's going to be a good catcher that's going to lead our pitching staff, but we have Trevor Santos, Sahan Meyer, we got Danny Perez, we got Alfredo Delgado. I mean, we just got a lot of guys that are hungry to be full-time players.
I know Marinelli was, I think, the only guy on the team who played all 50 games last year,
and
so it's nice to have him back.
He's made a lot of strides this year, so we're expecting some big things from him in our leadoff role.
And I'm very happy to have a month to get Jake Radzowitz's name down. A month, right?
Raz.
Until we get the home opener.
That's all you're ever going to hear me say, Raz.
All right. Well, if you're going to call him Raz, maybe he'll let me get away with calling him Raz. Let's talk about the pitching staff. Your leading game winner last year, also the most losses on the team, but Will Hesselink coming back for another year.
Yeah, Will, I mean, he's your veteran pitcher, named captain for the pitching staff. He's just a guy that's going to go out and he's going to eat up innings. He's not afraid of anything. I mean, this kid's a house in the weight room. I think he deadlifted almost 700 pounds, which is unheard of. But he's a guy that really wants his last year of college baseball to be something special, and he's going to go out and he's going to give it his best. We're still trying to figure out whether he falls into the Friday role or the Saturday role or the Sunday role. But he's going to be in one of those three spots.
And he was the innings eater, had the most innings pitched on the team last year, also the most strikeouts, also gave up the most home runs, to be fair. How do you make sure he tries to, he keeps the ball in the park?
The funny thing is we were looking at Will's stuff today. I think he gave up 4 in one game at Canisius or something last year. So, take away that game, maybe it's cut in half or something like that. But he doesn't let that stuff bother him. He learns from his mistakes. He learns from his outings. He's worked extremely hard to be in the best shape that he can possibly be this season. This is a kid that could go out and he could compete for Conference Pitcher of the Year.
John Farley, out of the bullpen, led the team in saves last year. I know he's a key cog among the relief corps. What do you like about him?
It's funny, Farley he's been pushing me to be a starter. Again, we're trying to figure out what the best moves are for Manhattan baseball moving forward. But whether we have him as a starter or a reliever, he's going to come out and he's going to give you everything he's got. I mean, he's got a rubber arm. He's told us if he comes out of the pen, he can go Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If not, we're going to ask him to be a weekend starter or midweek starter and go out and try to shut them down for 5 or 6.
And Kyle Lessler, who was basically the hybrid guy last season, right? He made 11 starts, had a couple of saves as well. Won't be with you for probably the first month of the season. How much of an addition will he be? How key will he be coming into this squad? It's almost like you're making a trade.
Yeah, when we talk about pitching staff, when you get a fresh arm coming back midway through the season, that could be great for this pitching staff to add a little depth, right as we get into conference play. So, Kyle unfortunately had a little tweak of his arm that we just, we're building him back up, and he's going to be hopefully stronger than ever, probably by week 4 or 5.
Really much better to have something like that happen before the season starts than in the middle of the season.
Yeah, it's great to get him back in the middle of the season as we do a conference push, to get him to finish us out and help get us into the MAC playoffs and hopefully beyond.
A lot of names we mentioned, a lot of names we didn't, but we're going to do this every week, so we won't snub everybody all the time. We'll get to some of the guys that we didn't mention today, maybe next week or the week after. Let's talk while we have a few minutes about your road to Riverdale. You had a lot of experience on the field, a lot of coaching experience too. Catch everybody up on how you wound up here with the Jaspers.
Sure. Interesting ride, to say the least. I wanted to get some head coaching experience, so I took over a private school in Philadelphia called Penn Charter High School. Probably most famous for being called William Penn in the TV show The Goldbergs. But that was the school that, I got my start as a head coach, built a team to where we were nationally ranked, and LaSalle University of the Atlantic 10 came calling, and we built that program up to a 30-win program, and unfortunately over COVID, the university decided to shut the program down. And so I took a step back and needed to recharge the battery. So this past season I was at a school called Penn State Abington, a Division III in right outside of Philadelphia. And a great season, finished that year 33-11, had the Division III National Player of the Year. Kid hit 550 with 29 home runs. It was video game numbers. But so after that season, Manhattan came calling, and I was ready to get back to work at the Division I level, and excited to be here. And as much as I love the Philadelphia Eagles, it's good to be back in green.
Sorry about the Super Bowl.
Hey, I'm more focused
Not really.
on
I'm a
the
Giants fan,
Jaspers.
so I'm
That's
not
right.
terribly sorry about it. We asked earlier what you like most about this team. What have you found to be the areas most in need of improvement?
Well, I mean, again, like every year I'm going to take our strengths and coach from our strengths. So, I'm not saying we're going to be a team full of 40 home run hitters. This is going to be a team based on speed. We might be a small ball team, bunt and run, hit and run type team, with our couple of middle of the order guys that can do some damage. So, we're focused on, doing whatever's necessary to get the most out of each guy. Each guy has his unique strength, So, you could see 4 or 5 pitchers try to run out a 9-inning, complete game shutout. But it's from the same aspect. It could take us 15 or 16 hits to score 6 runs. So, but that's the best part of being in college, is you get to build your program slowly from the ground up. And I got an amazing group of kids that don't have anything less than their best when they're out there practicing in the weight room, in the classroom with a 3.2 team GPA. Very proud of that. These kids don't have an off button, where they're taking any days off. So, when I look at taking a team that was 24 and 26, if we just do a little bit of the stuff that I've learned through my college playing days and my pro days, and from what I've learned coaching, we can, no reason we can't get 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 10 more wins out of this team.
You've got a month essentially on the road before the first home game up at Clover Stadium in Pomona. I know you haven't been there yet, but I can tell you from experience, definitely a hitter's park, 312 to the short porch at right field, and really right-handed hitters can reach it with a pitching wedge, not very difficult. Good for them, not so great for the hitters, because obviously, or for the pitchers I should say, because obviously the opposing hitters can reach it too. But what, in your experience, having been a Northeast college baseball coach for all these years, what in your experience can your team glean from that bonding, being essentially away for a month? Well,
that's exactly it. They're going to be in a hotel room together, on a bus together. They're going to be basically together for the next 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's a bonding experience where they become a family. So they root for each other. When one guy fails, we all fail. When one guy succeeds, we all succeed. So the best part about being on the road, honestly, is you become a tight unit, but you're also in enemy territory for the next 4 weeks. So you got to have some thick skin. You've got to be ready to go out when we go out to Texas, that they're not going to fall in love with us. They're going to say some things that might not be the friendliest things in the world, but that's the best part, is they can go out into enemy territory and go out and see what it's like. There could be 4,500 fans at Stetson next week. Then we go out to California. It's just getting everybody ready for when we come home, and then we have that stretch of home games.
You'll have the first Jaspers Sports Network broadcast on March the 15th. It'll be a road game at Hofstra. The home opener up at Clover Stadium will be March the 17th. Looking forward to that. I'm excited for this season. I hope you are too.
This is my life. I mean, I call it, we chase rings and hang banners. So, it's like, I wish I had that where I'm in it for the paycheck, but I'm in it for the banners, man. It's all about going out there, building a team. And when these kids, when you can see that dog pile and all that fulfillment of all the hard work that these guys put into it, that's what it's all about.
2 days away, the Jaspers visit Stetson. Check the gojaspers.com website for all the broadcast details. For the coach, Dave Miller, I'm Mark Renee. We've been talking Jaspers baseball. We'll see you next time.